Welcome to Deep Dive. Have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels, stuck in a cycle you can't seem to escape? Maybe you admire those who seem to move effortlessly through life, or you're wondering why your own progress feels so slow. Today, we're diving into the 4 stages of life that everyone goes through and, more importantly, how you can recognize which stage you're in right now. By understanding these stages, you will unlock the secrets to breaking free from patterns that keep you stuck and start living with purpose and clarity. Stick around, because your transformation begins now. If you have ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly move through life, while you feel stuck in the same patterns year after year, this video will change everything for you. I am about to reveal the 4 stages of life that everyone goes through. But here's the thing. Most people never make it past stage 2. They spend decades trapped in cycles of copying others, or endlessly searching for something they can't even name. Which stage are you stuck in? Are you living someone else's life? Picture Sarah, 32 years old, sitting in her corner office, with a law degree on the wall and a 6-figure salary. She followed every piece of advice her parents gave her. Good grades, prestigious university, stable career. On paper, her life looks perfect. But every morning when she wakes up, she feels like she is living in someone else's body, going through motions that never belong to her. This is stage 1, and it starts when we are children. We naturally copy the adults around us because our survival depends on fitting in and gaining approval. A toddler mimics their parents' facial expressions. A 5-year-old repeats phrases they hear at home. This copying mechanism keeps us safe and helps us learn social rules. The problem comes when we never graduate from copying to choosing. Instead of developing our own decision-making abilities, we keep looking around the room to see what everyone else is doing. We pick college majors because our parents suggest them. We choose careers because they sound impressive at dinner parties. We buy clothes that look good on influencers, not because we actually like them. Following someone else's path feels psychologically safe, because if things go wrong, it is not really your fault. You were just doing what everyone said you should do. The responsibility sits with whoever gave you the advice, not with you. This creates a protective buffer against the fear of making the wrong choice. But here is what happens over time. You wake up one day and realize you are living a life that fits someone else perfectly, but feels completely foreign to you. Your apartment looks like a magazine spread, but nothing in it reflects your actual taste. Your career impresses strangers, but you count down the hours until you can go home. Some people spend their entire lives in this stage, constantly seeking validation from others, because they never learn to validate themselves. They become approval addicts, always checking if they are doing the right thing according to external standards. The shift out of stage 1 happens when the pain of living someone else's life becomes unbearable. When you finally break free from copying others, the world suddenly feels wide open. Every door seems available, every path possible. You can travel anywhere, try any career, date anyone, learn anything. This rush of unlimited possibilities creates an intoxicating high that makes you feel truly alive for the first time. Meet Jake, the classic explorer. In 5 years, he has lived in 7 cities, tried 12 different jobs, and started learning guitar, Spanish, photography, and coding. He has dated artists, entrepreneurs, and teachers. His Instagram looks like a highlight reel of adventures. He tells everyone he is figuring himself out and staying open to opportunities. This stage feels like massive progress, because you are finally making your own choices. Instead of following someone else's script, you are collecting experiences, meeting new people, and pushing your comfort zone. Each new adventure feels like you are getting closer to discovering who you really are. But here is the trap that most explorers never see coming. You start mistaking motion for progress. Moving from city to city feels like growth, but you are often running from the same problems that follow you everywhere. You confuse having lots of experiences with actually learning from them. Each new experience gives you a temporary rush of excitement and discovery. You feel energized by the novelty, the challenge, the stories you will be able to tell. But this creates an addiction to newness. Your brain starts craving the next hit of exploration, the next adventure that will finally reveal your true self. The problem is that each new experience becomes less satisfying than the last. The 20th country you visit doesn't give you the same thrill as the 5th. Job number 10 doesn't teach you as much about yourself as job number 3 did. You need bigger and more dramatic changes to feel the same excitement. Explorers often convince themselves that their restlessness is passion, and their inability to commit is just keeping their options open. They mistake their fear of choosing wrong for wisdom about staying flexible. The crushing realization comes when you have sampled everything the world has to offer. You have tried everything, but you still don't know who you are or what you actually want. Are you the builder who achieves everything but feels nothing? Marcus sits in his penthouse apartment looking at his investment portfolio on his phone. At 38, he owns 3 companies, drives a Tesla, and just closed a deal worth $2 million. His LinkedIn profile reads like a success story. Yet, as he stares out at the city skyline, he feels completely numb. This is stage 3, where everything becomes about measurable results. Builders think in numbers, deadlines, and clear objectives. They track their progress obsessively because concrete metrics feel safe and controllable. Revenue growth, followers gained, pounds lost, books read per month. Everything gets quantified. Builders emerge from the exploration phase by finally picking a lane and driving hard toward success. They stop sampling different experiences and start building expertise in one area. This focus gives them incredible power. They develop discipline that explorers never cultivate. They push through obstacles that would make others quit. Their ability to delay gratification, while others want instant results, builders understand that real achievement takes years of consistent effort. They skip parties to work on projects, invest money instead of spending it, and choose long-term gains over short-term pleasure. But this laser focus creates a dangerous blind spot. Builders become so obsessed with reaching their destination that they forget why they started. The original excitement and curiosity get buried under spreadsheets and strategy meetings. They sacrifice relationships because networking feels more productive than deep friendships. They ignore their health because taking time off feels like falling behind. Personal fulfillment gets pushed aside since it can't be measured or optimized. The arrival fallacy hits builders hardest. They convince themselves that the next milestone will finally bring satisfaction. Each achievement feels emptier than expected, requiring an even bigger goal to chase. The crisis comes when Marcus reaches his biggest goal and feels the emptiness inside hasn't disappeared. Success was supposed to fill that void, but it only highlighted how hollow he feels despite everything he wanted. What does it mean to be a sage? Finding meaning beyond yourself, something fundamental shifts when you stop asking, "What can I get from this world?" and start asking, "What can I give to this world?" This question marks the entrance into stage 4, where the entire game changes. Sages emerge from the wreckage of external achievements that stopped delivering satisfaction. They have climbed the mountain, reached the summit, and discovered the view is not what they expected. The promotions, the money, the recognition of it filled the deeper hunger that kept gnawing at them. Instead of chasing personal wins, sages focus on legacy and mentorship. They want to build something that outlasts their own life. A teacher who shapes young minds cares more about their students' success than their own salary. An entrepreneur starts focusing on how their company impacts communities rather than just profit margins. Sages make peace with their limitations and mortality in a way that transforms everything. Knowing their time is finite helps them cut through the noise and focus on what actually matters. They stop wasting energy on petty conflicts or status games because they understand these things won't matter in 10 years. This awareness brings a different kind of satisfaction that doesn't depend on external validation or achievements. Sages find joy in small moments, deep conversations, and the simple pleasure of helping others grow. They return to activities they genuinely enjoy rather than activities that look impressive. Stage 4 remains rare because it requires letting go of ego and accepting that individual achievements have natural limits. Most people can't release their grip on personal glory long enough to find meaning in service to others. The sage's wisdom comes from integrating all previous stages into a complete understanding. They remember the safety of copying others, the excitement of exploration, and the satisfaction of achievement. But they also understand these stages were stepping stones, not destinations. Ernest Becker exemplified this integration when terminal cancer diagnosis led him to write The Denial of Death. Focusing on immortality projects that outlive us, his crisis became a gift to humanity. He demonstrated how sages transform struggles into lasting contributions. Are you still copying? Here is how to recognize the warning signs in stage 1. The warning signs start small and feel completely normal. Before making any decision, you automatically ask your friends, family, or coworkers what they would do. Choosing a restaurant requires checking reviews and asking for recommendations. Picking an outfit means mentally scanning what others wore to similar events. You rarely make choices based purely on your own preferences, because you are not even sure what those preferences are. You need constant external validation before taking action. Posting on social media requires careful consideration of how others will react. Career moves depend on whether they will impress people at high school reunions. Even personal hobbies get filtered through the question of what others will think. This creates an exhausting cycle where every decision needs approval from an invisible jury. Here is something strange that happens to stage 1 people. They become experts at giving advice to others while struggling with their own choices. They can analyze their friends' relationship problems with crystal clarity, but can't figure out their own dating life. They offer career guidance to colleagues, but feel paralyzed about their own professional decisions. This happens because advising others feels safer than making personal choices that might be wrong. You follow trends, popular opinions, and conventional wisdom automatically. Whatever everyone else is doing must be right. So you adopt the same exercise routines, investment strategies, and lifestyle choices without questioning if they actually fit your situation. The path of least social resistance becomes your default setting. A hidden resentment often builds toward the people you are copying, though you can't explain why. Your successful neighbor annoys you. Popular influencers irritate you. You feel frustrated with mentors and role models without understanding the source of these feelings. This resentment comes from living their life instead of your own. Social media makes stage 1 behaviors worse by providing endless models to copy and compare against. Every scroll session offers new templates for how to live, dress, think, and feel. The clearest sign you are stuck in stage 1. You can't remember the last decision you made based purely on your own authentic desires rather than external expectations or social approval. Are you stuck in stage 2? Is exploration turning into escapism? Healthy exploration means trying new things to learn about yourself. Compulsive seeking means running from one experience to the next, because sitting still feels unbearable. The difference shows up in how you approach each new adventure. Explorers who are growing ask what this experience teaches them, while those stuck in stage 2 just want the next hit of excitement. The addiction to novelty becomes obvious when you can't stick with anything long enough to see real results. You start learning guitar but quit after 3 weeks when your fingers hurt. You begin a business but abandon it when the initial excitement wears off and actual work begins. You enter relationships with enthusiasm, but lose interest when they require sustained emotional investment. This creates a dangerous illusion where you mistake busyness for progress and variety for growth. Your calendar stays packed with new activities, trips, and projects, making you feel productive and adventurous. But productivity without depth leads nowhere meaningful. You collect experiences like souvenirs without extracting the lessons they contain. The pattern repeats endlessly. Explosive enthusiasm at the beginning, followed by gradual disinterest when sustained effort becomes necessary. You start yoga classes, language courses, and creative projects with genuine excitement. But when the novelty fades and consistency becomes required, you find reasons to move on to something else. The underlying fear driving this behavior is that committing to one path means missing out on all the others. Every choice feels like 1,000 doors closing. What if the perfect opportunity appears while you are stuck in a commitment? This fear keeps you perpetually sampling instead of ever truly choosing. Your stories become impressive at parties, but you struggle to build anything lasting. You have traveled to 40 countries but can't maintain a relationship for more than 6 months. You have tried dozens of careers but never developed real expertise in any field. The emotional exhaustion creeps in slowly. Constantly reinventing yourself without ever settling into who you are becomes mentally draining. You feel like you are always performing different versions of yourself without knowing which one is authentic. If you have been finding yourself for more than a decade, you might actually be avoiding yourself instead. Are you trapped in stage 3? When success turns into a prison, the cruelest irony of stage 3 is feeling trapped by the very success you worked so hard to achieve. You have built the career, earned the income, and gained the recognition that everyone told you would bring happiness. Instead, you wake up each day feeling like a prisoner in a life that looks perfect from the outside, but feels suffocating from within. The builder's dilemma becomes clear when you realize how much you have invested in your current path. You have spent years developing expertise, building networks, and establishing your reputation in one field. Changing direction now feels impossible, because starting over would mean abandoning everything you have built. The sunk cost of your previous efforts keeps you locked in place, even when you have outgrown your original goals. Many Stage 3 people become prisoners of their own competence. You stay in roles because you excel at them, not because they bring you joy or meaning. Your boss promotes you because you deliver results. Clients hire you because you have a proven track record. But expertise in something you no longer care about becomes a cage that's difficult to escape. Golden handcuffs tighten around your life as lifestyle. Inflation makes it financially difficult to pursue more meaningful but less lucrative paths. The mortgage on your dream house, private school tuition, and expensive hobbies create financial obligations that require maintaining your high income. Walking away from success means downsizing your entire life, which feels like failure even when it might lead to fulfillment. Success becomes addictive because each achievement provides less satisfaction than the last. You need bigger promotions, larger deals, and more recognition to feel the same high you once got from smaller wins. Your tolerance for achievement keeps increasing while the actual pleasure decreases. Your identity merges completely with your accomplishments until you can't tell where you end and your achievements begin. Without your job title, income level, or professional status, you are not sure who you are anymore. The ultimate trap convinces you that stopping the achievement machine means confronting the terrifying question of who you are. When you are not constantly producing, succeeding, and climbing the next mountain, are you ready to move beyond the copycat stage? Here is the truth nobody wants to tell you. If you live authentically, some people will disapprove of your choices. Your parents might feel disappointed. Your friends might not understand. Colleagues might think you are making mistakes. This reality terrifies most people, so they stay trapped in copying others to avoid conflict. But disappointing others is the price of admission to your own life. Start building your decision-making muscles with choices that don't matter much. Pick your lunch based on what sounds good to you, not what's popular or healthy or impressive. Choose a movie because the plot interests you, not because it has good reviews. These small decisions teach you to recognize your own preferences, without high stakes attached. Create regular periods of solitude without any distractions. Turn off your phone, close your laptop, and sit with your own thoughts for at least 20 minutes daily. This practice reveals what's actually going on in your mind versus what you think should be going on. Most people avoid this because they are afraid of what they will discover about themselves. Learn to say no to requests that don't align with your interests, even if saying yes would make others happy. Decline social events that drain you. Turn down projects that don't excite you. Each no strengthens your ability to honor your authentic preferences over social pressure. Pay attention to what energizes you versus what exhausts you throughout each day. Notice which conversations leave you feeling alive and which ones feel like work. Track which activities make time fly and which ones drag. Your energy levels reveal your true preferences more accurately than your logical thoughts. Deliberately make choices that some people won't like. Wear clothes that express your personality, even if they are not trendy. Share opinions that matter to you, even if they are unpopular. Order food you actually want instead of what seems socially acceptable. Each small act of authenticity builds your tolerance for disapproval. Start with areas where you have natural interest or talent. Your instincts work best in domains where you already feel some confidence. Success in these areas proves your judgment works, making it easier to trust yourself in unfamiliar territory. Are you ready to move from explorer to builder? Here is the counterintuitive truth that most explorers resist. Limitations actually set you free. When you have infinite options, you can't choose any of them confidently. But when you accept that you can't do everything, you can finally focus on what matters most to you. Look back at your exploration phase and ask yourself which experiences left you feeling energized versus completely drained. Which activities made you lose track of time? Which ones felt like work, even though they were supposed to be fun? Your energy levels during different experiences reveal patterns that your logical mind might miss. Start identifying what you consistently enjoyed and what you consistently avoided. Maybe you loved every job that involved teaching others, but hated roles focused on data analysis. Perhaps you thrived in creative projects, but felt exhausted by administrative tasks. These patterns point toward areas where you have natural alignment and interest. Now shift from collecting experiences to building competence in areas that match your values. Instead of trying another new hobby, go deeper with something you already know you enjoy. Instead of switching careers again, develop expertise in the field that energized you most. This requires accepting that choosing one path means saying no to others. And that's actually liberating because it eliminates decision fatigue. Set goals based on your own values rather than external expectations. If you value creativity over security, choose projects that let you express yourself, even if they pay less. If you value impact over recognition, focus on work that helps others, even if it doesn't boost your social status. Commitment becomes powerful when you understand that depth in one area often provides more satisfaction than breadth. Across many, a musician who masters their instrument experiences joy that someone who dabbles in 20 instruments never finds. An entrepreneur who builds one successful company feels more accomplished than someone who starts and abandons 10 ventures. The transition happens when you stop asking what else is out there and start asking, how deep can I go with this? This question shifts signals you are ready to build something lasting instead of just collecting more experiences. Are you evolving from builder to sage? The shift happens quietly at first. You achieve another milestone, close another deal, or receive another award, but the satisfaction feels muted. What once energized you now feels routine. You start wondering if there is something wrong with you, because success is not delivering the fulfillment it promised. Recognizing you have outgrown the builder phase requires honest self-assessment. Success feels hollow despite meeting all your original goals. You find yourself craving deeper meaning beyond the next promotion or revenue target. Time and energy feel increasingly precious, making you question whether your current pursuits deserve such investment. Redefining success becomes essential at this stage. Instead of measuring progress through personal achievements, you start thinking about contribution and legacy. What problems can you solve that matter beyond your own advancement? How can your skills and experience benefit others rather than just boosting your own status? Ask yourself what you want to be remembered for beyond your professional accomplishments. Do you want your obituary to list your job titles and income? Or do you want it to describe how you improved other people's lives? This question reveals whether you are ready to move beyond building for yourself toward building for others. Developing others becomes more satisfying than outdoing competitors. You start sharing knowledge freely instead of hoarding it for competitive advantage. Mentoring colleagues brings more joy than beating them for promotions. Teaching what you have learned feels more meaningful than learning new skills for personal gain. Finding fulfillment in the process rather than just outcomes changes your daily experience. You appreciate the journey itself instead of constantly rushing toward the next destination. Small improvements in your work quality matter more than dramatic results that impress others. Accepting your mortality brings unexpected peace. Understanding that your time is limited helps you prioritize what truly matters. Petty conflicts and status games lose their appeal because you realize these things won't matter in 10 years. The transformation completes when you stop trying to prove yourself and start trying to improve the world around you. Personal validation becomes less important than positive impact. This shift marks your evolution from builder to sage. What's the key takeaway here? Here is the truth that might surprise you. Most people cycle through these stages multiple times in different areas of life. You might be a sage at work, mentoring junior employees and focusing on meaningful projects, while acting like a copycat in your personal relationships, constantly seeking approval from partners or friends. Growth is not linear, and there is no shame in moving backward sometimes. You might need to return to the explorer stage after years of building to rediscover what you actually want. This backward movement often becomes necessary for moving forward authentically. Which stage are you in right now, and what's keeping you stuck there? Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Stay curious and keep exploring your journey. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take care.